The rain had started just before sunset. Daniel, a hard-working single father, was driving home after a long day. His 7-year-old daughter Emma was waiting for him at home with her babysitter, and tonight was supposed to be special. For the first time in almost 3 years since his wife's passing, Daniel had agreed to go on a blind date. His friends had been encouraging him for months, insisting that he deserved another chance at happiness. Truthfully, he wasn't excited. The woman he was supposed to meet had been described as successful, confident, and outspoken. Everything Daniel usually avoided. The more his friends talked about her, the more convinced he became that the evening would be a disaster. As he drove through the rain, he noticed a car stranded on the side of the road. The hood was open, and a woman stood beside it looking frustrated. Most drivers passed without stopping. Daniel almost did too, but then he remembered how many times strangers had helped him when life became difficult after losing his wife. He pulled over. "Need some help?" he asked. The woman looked relieved. "My car died about 20 minutes ago," she said. "I have no idea what's wrong." Daniel wasn't a mechanic, but he knew enough about cars to take a look. The rain soaked his jacket as he checked under the hood. After several minutes, he discovered a loose battery connection. A simple fix. A few adjustments later, the engine started. The woman's face lit up. "Oh my goodness, thank you." Daniel smiled. "No problem." She offered him money, but he refused. "Just helping someone out." The woman studied him for a moment. "You're one of the few people who actually stopped." Daniel shrugged. "I'd hope someone would do the same for my daughter one day." The woman seemed touched by that answer. After a brief conversation, they went their separate ways. Daniel checked his watch. He was running late for the blind date. Part of him secretly hoped the woman had already left. An hour later, he arrived at the restaurant. The hostess escorted him to a table near the window. A woman stood as he approached. Daniel froze. It was her, the woman from the roadside. The same woman whose car he had fixed. Her eyes widened too. For a few seconds neither of them spoke. Then she laughed. "You've got to be kidding me." Daniel couldn't believe it. Of all the people in the city, she was the blind date he had been dreading. The woman extended her hand. "I'm Sophia." Daniel shook it. "Daniel." Both sat down, still stunned by the coincidence. The awkwardness disappeared surprisingly fast. Unlike what he'd expected, Sophia wasn't arrogant or intimidating. She was funny, kind, smart, and she genuinely cared about people. Hours passed like minutes. They talked about family, dreams, failures, and second chances. Daniel spoke about losing his wife and raising Emma alone. Sophia listened without judgment. Then she shared her own story. She had spent years focusing on her career while caring for her sick mother. After her mother's death, she found herself lonely and unsure how to move forward. For the first time in years, both felt understood. When the restaurant began closing, neither wanted the night to end. Outside, the rain had finally stopped. Sophia smiled. "You know, if my car hadn't broken down, I might never have known what kind of person you really are." Daniel laughed. "And if I hadn't stopped, I would have spent this entire date assuming the worst about you." Months later, Sophia met Emma. The two became instant friends. Years later, Emma would tell everyone the story of how her father met Sophia because of a broken car on a rainy evening. Sometimes life introduces people in the most unexpected ways. The person you think you'll dislike may become the person who changes your life forever. And sometimes, the road you never planned to take leads exactly where you were meant to be.